Tzu Chi New York chapter awards 32 students with scholarships to help them pursue their dreams. This year, Tzu Chi's folding bed receives an award from the Red Dot Design Award. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. As love from Taiwan in the form of rice continues to help needy families across the Philippines, today we join the Tzu Chi rice distribution held at Pasong Tamil Elementary School in Manila. Receiving the 20 kilograms bags of rice from volunteers, many residents rushed home to celebrate this blessing with their families through a hot meal.
Upon receiving a 20-kilogram bag of rice at the Pasong Tamil Elementary School, Ronaldo, who suffers from blindness, walks home with the help of his daughter. As Ronaldo collects and sells recyclables to make a living, his family often goes without enough to eat. However, this rice came just in time.
I am very thankful for all the help Tzu Chi has given us. It has definitely helped our entire family.
Aurea too rushed home to cook the rice she received. A staple food like rice has now simply become too unaffordable for residents here.
Rice is too expensive. It's impossible for us to buy rice that is cheaper than 40 pesos. Our family consumes about 3 kilograms of rice a day. The money we spend on buying rice can actually pay our utility bills now.
Whereas Rosemary chose to share half of her rice with her sister Anna, a single mother struggling to support her family.
I'm thankful to Tzu Chi for helping many people in similar situations like myself. I also received Tzu Chi's rice last year, and I hope this meaningful cause can continue to help the poor.
These cases of poverty are not uncommon here in Pasong Tamil, Quezon City. As Tzu Chi Foundation's charitable causes are widely recognized by community residents, teachers of Pasong Tamil Elementary School all willingly donated their spare change.
There are many impoverished families around here, and Tzu Chi has helped them greatly.
Although it's just a little bit of money, many a little makes a mickle. These are all spontaneous donations by the teachers.
A bag of rice can save a family. It can also continue this relay of love.
Moving to the United States, recently the Tzu Chi New York chapter held a scholarship ceremony on behalf of 32 students. This aid helps students from financially difficult backgrounds, giving them a chance to continue to pursue their dream of a higher education. This year, 32 students are being honored by the Tzu Chi New York chapter for their scholastic achievement with the gift of a scholarship. Behind each deserving student lies the struggle they endured before receiving this honor.
My name is Elio Velasquez. At times, growing up, my mom was a single teenage mother, and so at times we were homeless. We moved from house to house a lot. Financially, it was very hard.
Despite living through such difficulty, Elio Velasquez never gave up. Instead, he used it as motivation to do better than the rest. Another scholarship recipient was Andrea Gillen, originally from Ecuador. 3 years ago, when Andrea arrived in the United States, she didn't speak a bit of English, but was full of desire to make her parents proud. Thus, she came on her own to stay with her sister, who was married in America.
My name is Andrea Guillen. I came here 2 years ago. My parents, they never get the chance to get a higher education, for college. So I feel like I want to return them what they have been investing in me all this time.
Now with Tzu Chi's support in hand, Andrea hopes to become the first college graduate in her family.
My name is Yang Wen-Chi, and 3 years ago I moved to New York. When I first got here, all I did was hang out in Flushing and played. I had no goal in life, no dreams. I didn't want to study.
Yang Wen-Chi finally returned to school, much to the delight of her mother. This year, she was accepted into New York University.
One must have a dream. After you settle on the dream, no matter what obstacle is in your way, you will be able to conquer it.
Smelling something nice is always pleasant. That's why there are so many varieties of air fresheners available. But just exactly how safe are they for extended periods of time inside a confined space? Let's find out more in our report.
Air fresheners can help make your environment more pleasant without costing too much.
We have bought a wide variety of air fresheners. They all claim to be natural and include scents such as rose, forests, or ocean. However, just how safe are they? As when using them, we are exposed to the fragrance for a prolonged period in a confined space.
Of the 20 items purchased, 10 were randomly chosen to be tested in a lab. 7 business days later, the results are in. Out of the 5 liquid and vapor air fresheners, 4 contain organic solvents. This one's ethanol level is 5,654 ppm. This one's rose cinnamon is 312 ppm. This has acetone, while 1 out of 5 solid air fresheners contain ethanol. A toxicology expert says the solvents are hazardous to our health.
As the chemicals are released constantly, we are also inhaling them into our system. By exposing ourselves to such a high concentration of organic solvents, early symptoms may include headache, fatigue, general discomfort, and inability to concentrate, while serious symptoms include dizziness, involuntary convulsions, and even loss of consciousness.
How can common household items be this dangerous?
We are concerned that no matter what form air fresheners come in, the government has not established pertinent regulations, so in truth, these businesses are not violating any laws.
The only law that is even remotely related is the Indoor Air Quality Control Act that became effective on July 1st. It listed 12 organic solvents whose concentration level must be kept in check in an indoor public area.
We are concerned about the volatility of organic solvents. We think air must be allowed to circulate to minimize the presence of chemicals in the air of an indoor environment.
As most people spend more time in their own home than in a public area, we should be even more cautious. What if we go au natural and use essential oils as air fresheners instead? Of the 8 bottles tested, some came from high-end retailers, some came from direct sellers, and some came from night markets. Samples are first collected and then diluted. After mixing, the samples are analyzed.
This tells us that in this bottle, the highest content is man-made musk instead of essential oils. This shows that this is not the so-called pure essential oil, but synthetically made and formulated.
As it turns out, only the most expensive of the 8 is au natural, while all the others are nothing more than synthetically formulated chemical compounds. Does it mean then that price guarantees quality?
To be honest, our lab has tested over 300 to 400 essential oils on the market. Unfortunately, most of them are synthetic. As consumers, there is just no way to tell. We even had aromatherapists try to tell the difference, and they couldn't either.
Spending a fortune on synthetic essential oils marketed as pure and natural oils is mild compared to the harmful agents and carcinogens possibly found within.
On average, we inhaled about 12 to 15 kilograms of air a day. So if the air in your home is not clean and is full of harmful agents, by staying in that kind of environment for an extended period, you will be much worse off than drinking poisonous water or food.
In the end, lab tests are but a control measure. Consumers simply cannot send all items they buy to a lab. Though air fresheners are not a necessity, many people do like them and use them. We can only hope the government will work to get a tighter grip on the situation and put consumers at ease.
In 2010, Pakistan was devastated by severe flooding. In response, Master Chen Yan looked to Tzu Chi volunteers for possible solutions to help with the living conditions of the flood survivors. The result was a portable bed for disaster survivors to help keep them off the wet ground. In our next report, let's follow in the volunteers' footsteps to see how the bed came to be.
In 2010, massive floods devastated Pakistan. Footage showing a baby girl lying on the wet ground left Master Zheng Yan determined to help in some way.
受灾的难民真苦，再让他睡在土地上的那个水中真的是情何以堪，所以我一直真急。
Initially, the volunteers used paper honeycomb to make the bed. Although highly flexible and extensible, the material was not waterproof. Another option, PVC, was totally water-resistant, yet had a sharp edge that could cut users. To make a user-friendly, sturdy, and comfortable bed for disaster survivors, Mr. Zheng Yan, together with Tzu Chi volunteers, went through several prototypes.
搬起按一个，当然拉出来的，到那个收容中心就可以当用。
Eventually, Tzu Chi came up with an affordable bed made out of skin-friendly polypropylene, which is not only durable and easy to store, but also eco-friendly.
The food-grade plastic we use will not irritate skin, and it's recyclable.
To make it easy to carry, volunteers made further improvements in its height and structure.
在结构上
We put holes on the bed sides so ventilation will be better. When it is folded up, its height is right at our waist, so it can be easily carried and moved around.
The weight of the bed was reduced from 18 to 12 kilograms, thanks to Jiangsu Tzu Chi volunteer Du Mingshu, who worked through the whole process from design to manufacturing.
We need to manufacture each part separately before putting them together into a foldable bed.
For the manufacturer, opening the molds was initially the most difficult part.
The cutting tool may not be able to cut in a certain angle, so we need to make another tool to cut the plastic. It's not that easy to make the foldable bed.
Despite the difficulties, the manufacturer managed to overcome them.
With the foldable bed, disaster survivors can avoid sleeping on the ground. I'm very moved and am happy for them.
Whenever a disaster happens in the future, Tzu Chi's foldable beds will be there to help give survivors a good night's sleep.
Inspired by the 2010 floods in Pakistan, the Jingsu folding bed was created as an innovative disaster relief solution. This year's Red Dot Design Award selected the easy to transport and eco-friendly product as the winner of its top quality award category, out of some 4,800 submissions from over 50 countries. Tzu Chi volunteer and chief designer of the bed, Marshall Sao, flew to Germany to receive the award on behalf of the Tzu Chi Foundation.
Germany's Red Dot Design Award held its annual ceremony in Essen.
Poland, Portugal, Singapore, Slovenia, Slovenia, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, Turkey, USA. Welcome tonight.
This year, out of 4,815 submissions, the Tzu Chi Foundation's Jinsi folding bed was selected as the winner of the top quality award. Chief designer of Jinsi products and Tzu Chi volunteer Marshall Shao flew to Germany to receive the award in person and learn from his counterparts. The 2014 Red Dot Award catalog gave a brief introduction of the multi-purpose bed.
I'll sign it for you.
Moved by the story behind the product, a little girl comes to ask for Marshall's autograph. During the 2010 Pakistan floods, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed beds for the first time as part of their aid distribution for disaster survivors. The assembled bed they initially distributed is a prototype of the foldable bed. After making improvements, the bed has evolved into an innovative disaster relief solution. The Red Dot Award is one of the top 3 international design awards and boasts the largest number of design submissions. Established in 1955, the Red Dot Award selects products that are not only creative in design, but are also practical to use for consumers.
anyone can perform acts of kindness, whether students or adults. In Taiwan, Tzu Chi basketball team members recently visited the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital to entertain patients with musical and comedic acts. Also helping out the less fortunate were Taoyuan Tzu Chi volunteers who recently delivered a second-hand refrigerator to one of their care recipients who lives in a tiny shack underneath a highway. Underneath the highway, an iron shack no bigger than 6 square meters is where Tzu Chi care recipient Cai lives. Recently, Cai has had some problems with his body.
The worst of parts, the doctors were going to amputate, but I said I didn't want that. I haven't recovered from debridement yet, and I also have diabetes.
Cai's brother, Fa, has a job, but it's not enough to cover Cai's medical fees. Despite all the obstacles, Fa still looks out for his brother.
He hasn't been able to work for a few years now. Every couple of months, I'll give him around 2,000 NT dollars for his living expenses.
Seeing the suffering, Taoyuan Tzu Chi volunteers decided to not only fully subsidize Cai's medical fees, but have also collected useful household products for the care recipients.
They brought me a fridge this time. In the past, they gave me a fan, rice cooker, an induction cooker, and rice.
We spent about 2 months looking for this refrigerator.
A friend was visiting Cai the same day volunteers stopped by to deliver the fridge, and upon seeing this act of kindness, his doubts and questions about Tzu Chi were put to rest.
I often hear people saying how Tzu Chi only care about others in places like China and such. But today I saw for myself. They too are helping the disadvantaged here.
Although there is a thin line between poverty and wealth, there is no such distinction for those wanting to help others in need. Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Hospital in Xindian, the appearance of Loving Puppy and Blessing Kitty, 2 DaAi technology mascots, bring the otherwise sedate hospital lobby to life. Also present are this group of youngsters. Each performer takes their turn in the spotlight, with one cellist enthralling the audience with his skills. Knowing he was playing at a hospital, Liao Xianyi prepared each piece accordingly.
I thought since I'm playing at the hospital for patients, I should play pieces that are more gentle to listen to.
For instance, when he is playing with the Tzu Chi basketball team, others share their experiences and his coach shares his skills. Tzu Chi aunts share their love and students share their friendship. It is a cycle of sharing that just continues on.
Not only are the musicians a big hit, a duo performing crosstalk, a traditional Chinese comedic act, was well received as well. As it turns out, crosstalk started as the 2 brothers' hobby. Incorporating Jingsi aphorisms into their act, the brothers elicit many smiles from patients.
Jin's aphorisms can help one lose weight because we are willing to do and happy to bear.
At home, the 2 of them like to do crosstalk with each other and will just go on and on practicing. Then I thought perhaps using this method to promote Jingsi aphorisms could be a good idea.
The summer is just beginning for these kids, and these acts of kindness are sure to inspire more charity work throughout their summer holiday. Staying in Taiwan but moving to Hualien, following the first surgery to treat the deformity of her knee, Chen Tuanzhi from Xiamen, China, has been working on her rehab exercises around the clock to speed up her recovery. Touched by the love and encouragement she has received in Taiwan, Chen decided to pay the love forward by donating the pocket money she has received while in the hospital to Tzu Chi.
I hope my mother can be happy. She has been worrying about me for more than 20 years. I can't express my worry in front of my mother because it'll just make her even more worried and scared.
You need to push. We want to see if we can help her learn to use the muscle in her butt. This exercise will help her legs get used to the weight and mimic the way she'll walk in the future.
Learning how to walk with the help of a walker is Chen Tuanzhi, who has been keen on practicing her rehab exercises following each surgery. With a clear goal in mind, Chen's progress is ahead of schedule.
All I think about is doing rehabilitation so I can walk as soon as possible.
She is very keen on doing her exercises, which helps her a lot. She has improved a lot in a short period of time, whether it be her muscle contractions or the angles her legs can bend. Her enthusiasm and positive attitude will help her reach our goal very quickly.
Following her first surgery, despite the pain, Chen Tuanzhi has insisted on training her muscles because she knows everything she does will affect the way she'll walk in the future.
Time is very precious for her, so we have designed all the operations according to her health condition. We hope to help speed up her rehabilitation progress.
Knowing that the road to recovery for Chen Tuanzhi will be full of challenges, Tuanzhi's mother insists on being there for her every step of the way. To ease her mother's worry, Chen never expresses her pain in front of her.
I always tell her to be strong and eat more so she will have the strength to work on her rehabilitation and eventually we can go home.
The Xiamen City Government Vice Chairman Wei Gang also pays Tuanzhi a visit to check on her progress. Touched by the outpouring of love, Chen happily donated all the money she has received to Tzu Chi as a way to pay the love forward.
I heard from the Tzu Chi aunties that there are a lot of needy people out there, so I decided to donate the money I have received. I want to pass on my blessings to the less fortunate.
Besides donating any money she has received, Chen Tuanzhi also decided to learn sign language from the volunteers as a way to express her thanks. As Tuanzhi is still unable to bend her knees, every step she takes is painful and time-consuming. The purpose of the rehab exercises is to help her legs get used to the body weight.
We hope the strength she puts into her legs and ankles can trigger bone growth.
OK， 所以这样更可以感觉负担体重嘛，哈。
To keep track of Chen Tuanzhi's progress, Honorary Superintendent Chen Yinghe makes it a point to visit her on a regular basis. Facing the upcoming surgery, although excited, Tuanzhi is also a bit nervous.
I am a bit nervous, not because of how my body looks, but how the surgery might affect the way I live my life. I don't know if I will be able to go out again or I'll have to stay at home all the time.
Combining two Tzu Chi campaigns into one, a group of housewives gathered in Neihu to turn discarded cardboard tubes collected from a sewing factory into beautiful bamboo coin banks. Among the helpers is one volunteer who lost her right hand in a work-related accident a few years ago, but she does not let her disability hinder her desire to be a useful person in society. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.